Hello, my name is Armando Abrahams, and this is my art showcase for Viracocha's Tomb. The way this kind of level starts out is you're outside of a ancient tomb. It's like a village that was kind of the people's sole purpose was to protect this tomb. So they have a deity there, and you kind of got to go inside these huts to find the key in the container that opens the door, and this door will slide up, and then you come in here and it's kind of like a cave that has like some wolves and a brazier. You got a health pack right there. It's kind of just like a cave, and you have these ledges that indicate that they're climbable. When you try to jump onto it, it'll attach and climb up, and that kind of tells you it's climbable. You have other ledges, like say this one. It's not climbable. So that's kind of a bit of affordance to show the player what is climbable and what's not. You have these catwalks that have been man-made to help them traverse these caves. You think they would just connect this one and that one, but you never know, right? And so here we're gonna have some spikes that come up from here. So these are gonna be like a little bit kind of a hazard. So it's gonna be like safe, dangerous, safe, dangerous, safe. The spikes are gonna be retractable, so you're gonna have to time your jumps. And once you get over here, you get into like this kind of like another cave that they were like another dig they discovered when they went into this cave. So they found a fallen kind of a temple, and this is all broken apart. So they had to put this catwalk that also broke. So now you have to do like a crazy jump to try to land it. When you get over here, you got like a dead body, a few dead bodies actually. That did not fellow raiders that did not make it. You got a first key that does not open that door. You got some platforms. Jump over these. These altars have spikes that do damage, and they also have like an indicator to tell you what key it is. This is the first key because there's one spike. You come down here, and these axes actually swing, and they harm you. Some kind of like blood effect would be cool on that, and then you kind of open this door. And then it takes you into this room here that has like just like a relic. Kind of think this way has 5 spikes. A dead body, which you take his guns, and you can open this door because these doors are timed. There you have about a 10-second timer. So if you lollygag, that door will close. But this one does open, so then you'll have to go all the way back up and through the axes. Unless you can run, you can make it through the door before it closes. Here we kind of see the symbol that I made. It's like a 3-key kind of symbol to indicate that you need 3 keys to get through this door, and this door will slide up. Right now you have 1 key, so you kind of come through here. You notice there's like a ladder on the floor. This is to tell the player that there's something up above you. Basically, that you're going the right way, and to look above you, and you see this area that's inaccessible, but you know it's for something. You come down, you get some columns and a big bear that will try to attack you. It's bear dead. You have these steps. These steps might have at one point spikes that retract, that come up and down to make the player kind of time their jumps. And here we have the second key that has 2 spikes with the second key kind of floating around there. More pillars. This is the area that has collapsed and fallen and opened up kind of another area over here, another cave. And then you have to make your way across these broken structures. These could be like working supplies or like just straight up rubble that you have to use to make your way up here because this part is too high and there is no ledge to grab. and you jump over this little vault thing. It's got a little arrow to tell that you can vault it. And you have some more swinging axes, dead bodies, spikes that do damage, a ladder system that was placed by the people that made it so they can make their way back safely. And you got some health, a brazier, some wood, the third altar that's missing a key. So you would essentially have to make your way down here. And there's fall damage here. So the player wants to like jump across and be like survive. They're able to climb all the way back up this way, so they're able to climb down just as safely. There's an AR over here. I should put a dead body there to indicate how there's an AR. All these ledges are just for the player to climb up and down from or break their fall. If they want to go back up, they can go back up. But basically, you come down here. You got some ladders from some previous explorers that they've fallen from up there, right? They broke off and landed down here. You have some wolves and the third key, along with a bunch of dead bodies. You come through and exit out here, and this is like a wolf cave, so it'd be kind of like dark and dank and dewy, stalactites or stalagmites, and you have some more ledges here that you climb up on, and some that you don't. These are just parts of broken flooring or rocks that are kind of sticking out that didn't all the way break down from the collapse. And then this break comes out back over here, so you don't have to backtrack all the way up. And you get to your 3 key with your 3 keys, and you exit, and you come here and you find the Viracocha's tomb himself with his statue that you use to input in here, that opens that door over there. And when you exit, it'll transition you into the next level, which at the moment is Milano. But it might be changed. So we're just gonna go based off our current levels, and then we will give you an order once we have established it better. We had a last minute decision to change up the order because of the difficulty. So here we have a prison-esque, it's like a lighthouse-style prison that is a functioning lighthouse. Used to be a lighthouse, now it's a prison. Has a crane because it's under construction, because it's falling apart inside. You have some building equipment here. You have an underground kind of krakens that you want to avoid, and you have another kraken over here. And there's a bunch of guards in the first floor. You got a couple guards here and some wolves to patrol the entrance. And then when you come in here, the first floor, you have a bunch of zombies. And as soon as you start, the zombies break out. They break through the walls, so they'll flood the first floor. So your job is to go up this elaborate scheme here, elaborate setup, to this window over here that's indicating a light to like come inside here, over here. So you climb up to a ledge, and this is all like could be whatever kind of exterior fits best for a lighthouse. I'm not sure, like a painted kind of like a painted white, or if it's really old, like a granite, or just like a stone. Nothing crazy. It doesn't have to be too fancy. Just whatever a lighthouse looks like. Here you got some toilets because you need some latrines. You gotta be able to go potty. We come in here. We got the barracks where a lot of either the guards or the prisoners slept. More like the guards, since there's weapons in here. And because it's kind of an isolated area, they have to the guards just need to live on site, and they don't want to live down there in the first floor, so they're up here in the second floor. And in the second floor, you have a bit more guards that are just kind of roaming around, and there is a dead body, but it's more like a preparation room for you in case you do encounter go downstairs. And this is more supposed to be like hell, because you have a lot of Walking Dead. It's kind of like yin and yang. They're the same kind of layout, except this one has more of a living way, and this one is more of a death prisoner vibe, like locked gates and stuff. So, sorry, going through walls here. So we have these lights that lead the player upstairs and kind of indicates where to go. And each floor is unique in its own way. Even the first and second, even though their layout was very similar, they had very different styles. So this one is kind of more like a rec room area. And you have some cells here. They could be like individual dormitories for the guards, or they could be also like cells for the prisoners. You got some zombies in one room, some goodies in another. Basically, and you get the key down here. There's a key in one of these containers that will open all these doors because it's a guard key. So that's like the barracks for the guards. So you would naturally find a key that opens all these gates in there. Once you get to the next floor, we'll just kind of zoom through here. We have like a broken layout, a broken floor that you have to like platform across, and there's one open room. If you were to fall into that room without getting the key, you would be able to grab that key and make your way out and then open all these rooms. These guards are way too distracted watching their favorite movie or playing a video game. And once you're done with this level, I guess with that, floor, and you make it across all this stuff without falling down through that hole. If you do miss one of those jumps, you can just find your way back up. We got another room here. It's like a ventilation room with an AR. This is more like kind of like an office space, or it's just like a duct, for the central airflow. More lights leading the player upstairs, and this one's more like a kind of an obstacle room. It's just like rubble that's fallen down, eroded or something. The player has to kind of work their way around it. Two little mini lighthouse here, little Easter egg that shows the way of where they should be going. Once you make your way up here to solve the puzzle, you get a large med pack, and then you can come back around and do this, or I might even put a door lever on this so you can jump across and just shortcut. This is a movable block that you pick up, and you can get inside here, and you have some drones that explode upon contact. They kind of swarm you. You make your way up the spiral stairs again. You get to the light bulb. This is where the crystal's at. The whole point of the level is to pick up the Siren's crystal. And once you have the Siren's crystal, you're able to open this door. So if you do not see that and you go open this door first, it'll tell you need one siren. You need one crystal. Once you have the crystal, you can open a door, exit the light bulb, attack, fight this guy. We have some leading vines here that kind of tell the player they need to go this way. So you see your flashing light to tell you where to go. This is a crane, again, that's unloading equipment. And the objective of the game, of the level, is to take the Siren's crystal, escape the lighthouse prison with your life. You can't really go back downstairs. There's a lot of enemies down there. And you can't go back up the duct. So you're stuck facing the zombies downstairs or taking your luck jumping into the water. So you make the choice of jumping into the water, and you go into a dive, and you looks like you're going to make it, and you go transition to the next level. And this takes you into the next level, and I believe it will be Eric. So I will now pass it on to my colleague. Thank you very much.
Alright, hi everyone. I'm Eric Seel with Team Gentle Wraith, and I'm showing you my first level, which is called Crusades. Got like a giant staircase leading up towards the temple. You got a witch burning at the stake right at the beginning. probably going to make the landscape like more of like a rocky type of mountain, so it's going to be kind of like a fortress. And as soon as you come down, you're met with just a destroyed area from old age and just rocks falling down and columns collapsing. Here you got a little puzzle for the player with the movable block. I was thinking maybe like making it to like a movable box of some sorts or stone. And then you got your enemies down here. Got some wolves. Got my impaled corpses right here. Which these are pretty much just going to be skeletons. Might have a little blood splatter right here. I do have some areas where it does show blood splatter, but I'll get to there. Over here is a little chamber where the player swims, kind of like a rest area. And to get up to this door up here, you gotta activate it with a lever, which is right here. And then through this door is kind of like the torture chamber, I'm guessing. But I was just throwing a bunch of dead corpses on the ground. Sorry, dead skeletons. It says get out. That's not scary at all. I do want to make this area, it's going to be a dark setting when there's going to be just torches that lights the area. So it's going to be pretty dark. I was thinking of like having like a ghost, or probably just a ghost up here, right here. And then in here, got more of my mechanic, which is the movable objects, which opens all these doors to these rooms. Got a few coffins here to hold the dead people. Again, the spikes, but this time I have blood to implement that they were bleeding a lot. And then that mechanic opens up this door, like a sacrificial area. I'm gonna make this into like a blood pool where their blood was drained, kind of like vampires. They drain their blood. And then I have some zombies in here, med pack. And then in this area is the final area, which opens up the final door. Movable object again. Got to fight off some wolves, and I was gonna thinking of this kind of like a cell, like where just a bunch of people just died by just being locked up. I was thinking that, like, because you know how the Crusades, like, they like hunted witches as well. And like the witches like took revenge on the Crusades or something. Pretty messed up. And then this is gonna be another like rest puzzle area. Have like a hole in here with blood flowing through in here. Broken structure, and then of course the movable objects. To pretty much gives the player a guessing game on which one is the right one to open up the door. This goes up here. You met with the boss, which is just going to be a bear. It's just a big wolf right now, but I believe we do want a bear. So, and yeah, as you can tell, people already tried to fight the bear. They lost. And then here's just the exit of my level. Just a long hallway. Yeah, that's Crusades. Let me go ahead and show you Temple of Hell. So if you don't know your lore when it comes to Norse mythology, excuse me, Hell was a child of Loki. so therefore she was part Jotun. And so she had the giant genes. So a lot of this structure is pretty big structure because she was part Jotun. Um, and over here I just made like kind of like a Jomsviking big old structure where the great warriors used to train and sleep and eat. So this was kind of like just a collapsed area that I made. That was part of the, I guess you would say, the training area. And then it leads to the barracks and stuff, and then the dining hall. And then I'm going to make the dining hall down here. Collapsed structure. And then maybe make like captain's quarters in here. Gosh, I need to slow that down. More captain's quarters over here. And then more broken down structure. The player has to use my mechanic wall run to get across. And then as you can see, I included my mechanic from Crusades in here as well, because I like it. Zombies are roaming around here, so you gotta be careful. This is gonna be kind of like I think I'll just make it like the barracks for the Jomsviking, so a bunch of like special weapons for them. And then it leads to a broken down hallway, which this would be more broken down structure right here because of just old age. And then this is the main hall for wherever the like the earls and stuff, and then their guests and whatnot. Earl and his family will go out there, and then a bunch of tables where all the rest of the Vikings. And then this is the village where the Vikings are. We're just the regular villagers. And up here is just a broken down tower for like soldiers or the army. Sorry, I had to get after my dog. Here's a brazier that I'm going to have to be fire, because I'm thinking about making this place dark too. Oh, and speaking of, my landscape is going to be snow, and it's going to be snowing, and it's going to be dark as well. So, add a little bit of broken down structure where the climbing is introduced, and then got some wood area over here, so definitely need to light this up. Have the soldiers barracks, so these are just regular Vikings. It's all broken down, so don't fall or you'll die. Over here's, I'm probably gonna put the beds over here, and then the arsenal, and then the mess hall for the food, and then it opens up to the temple itself, or Castle Hell, and you're immediately introduced to a big, gigantic statue of Hell. And in here, I'm probably going to fill with more rooms, just abandoned rooms and stuff like that. Probably throw in another arsenal in here. And then another floor, probably just full of empty rooms. I got this inspiration by Vikings, the show, because I do remember seeing in an episode, it was probably in England, but they had like a courtyard like this. Also, I got the inspiration from Harry Potter as well. And I thought it was really cool, so I wanted to include a little bit of different culture into this. And then you go up the steps, go up to the next building. It's all pretty straightforward from right here. Just broken down towers and all that good stuff. Um, yeah, so you can see this is pretty much a broken down tower. Another statue with a little collectible. Doesn't do anything. It's just an Easter egg of sorts. Um, Here's another bear I'm going to include. Um, and then over here we have another just broken down tower. That's including my climbing mechanic. Climb, and then of course my vault run. Don't fall though, you'll die. And then it leads out to just like a meet the square, and you are fighting off the boss, which is Fenrir. I made him super big, and he's like kind of like guarding this other statue of Hell. Because if you didn't know, Fenrir is actually Hell's brother. And then at the end of the level, the player would do a dive off here. Here, I'll show you. Give me a second. I apologize if I sound very boring. I'm very tired. And then we do a dive. Yay! I might need to put a loop at the end of that montage. And then you just go over to this building over here, and then it transitions to the next level. I might throw the transition right here, though. So, yeah, again, this is my stuff for the game. Again, my name is Eric Seel, and welcome to Team Gentle Wraith.
Hello everyone, my name is Mauricio Hernandez, and I will be showing off the art direction for my two levels, which are Village and Milano. So starting off with the Village, this will be an industrial area. At the beginning, player starts in a warehouse, dark, dank, falling apart. It doesn't look like that because this is all just block mesh stuff, but yeah, that's the idea. If I were to pull on this lever right here, see, it only opens partway because it's so old and abandoned. And here is a big hole in the wall. Something happened, caused a big hole to appear, and it got flooded. There's nothing to indicate how it got flooded, but that's the idea here. And like I mentioned, it's supposed to be industrial. Sort of modern time warehouse deal, leading in here to got the railing that's falling apart. It's got some boxes. Got an enemy there. We'll not be talking about enemies, just showing off things in the level. So these boxes are supposed to be like materials and all that stuff. Could even be wooden boxes. Not entirely sure, but it's supposed to be sort of like how you would imagine wooden boxes. It wouldn't be cardboard because that would probably fall apart. But I don't know if anyone has an idea what I mean by this. But I don't know if you've ever seen like pallets of stuff where they're just wrapped in a bunch of plastic, just like layers and layers of plastic wrapped around it. That's also what I had in mind here for some of these. So some of these would be like wooden crates type of boxes. Others would just be things wrapped in layers and layers of plastic. Moving on, this is still the industrial area. The outside, we got some some sheds here with sheds you would typically see in a warehouse types of setting where they keep their materials and stuff. Like right here will be like logs or wood or whatever you want to call it. More of the other stuff here, boxes, more wood. This would be like a small building. Think of it as an office area where like the manager or something will be. That's what that's supposed to be. Will be the inside. This will be like a office type of setting, desks, computers, all that. Moving on. So the general feel of the level would be sort of dark and dreary. It won't be as sunny, you know. Right now it's like, oh, nice weather, go out for a walk. Nah, it won't be none of that. It'll be more cloudy, less sunny, a little darker, but not like nighttime dark, just what it would look like on a very cloudy day. That type of weather. With maybe a bit of fog rolling in, for the outside areas, just to keep the player from seeing like into the void. And it has to be sort of like a like if it recently rained, so like it would be all muddy. That's the idea here. You can kind of tell, and it looks kind of wet. This is just what I had to work with to make it look presentable. But yeah, it'll be muddy with like a small road here. And these will just be regular, what they call it, like, I don't know, cliffs, maybe. Natural stone formations, like in the hill. Sorry, I'm not too familiar with these terms. That would be a truck, something that they would use to bring in and take stuff out. That's my attempt at a truck using block mesh. But yeah, that's the general feel of the level. Definitely want some trees, more realistic trees. These are supposed to be like pine trees. Literally just a cylinder and some cones layered on top of each other. And the houses would use similar wood. These are supposed to be pristine because this is a village in progress. It's currently being built. Everything else would just be more of a natural type of thing. So this would just all be dirt and then grass on top with some trees. Alright, I apologize for the brief interruption. My mouse actually decided to disconnect itself, but I am back. So I think, what was I mentioning? All of this is an in progress type of thing, still being built. And here would be another, this is actually a movable piece of a moving block, is what we call it. It will be similar to the packages back there, just materials in a box or something. Used for this watchtower to get up here. And this watchtower will be similar to how it looks, just more of a wooden type that you would see out in I believe they're national parks / forests is where you can find these. That's the idea, just like a wooden watchtower to open the gate over here, which leads you to the next level. Alright, and down here would be more of a mining type of thing. Got some equipment. This will be more materials, more boxes and all that. A few metal stairs, people set stuff up. And that is the village. Alright, and next we will take a look at the next level, which is Milano. So 1 second while that loads up. Okay, so this is supposed to be a sort of abandoned type of a village, I suppose. Like a very small one, just a few people. That's why they have their huts here. This is more of a tribal type of thing. And these are supposed to be abandoned for a long time, so they would be kind of falling apart. So the wood wouldn't look as nice as it looks now. It would be more old and faded. I believe old wood also tends to change color. I'm not sure about that. But it would have an old wood look to it. And this would also be dark and dreary, just similar to the village level. The cloudy skies, the little darker lighting. And but here we would also want to add rain. So rain would be, it would be raining, just to give it that more of a somber type of feel. And these are supposed to be big trees that I made. They're supposed to be similar to I think they're called the redwood trees, possibly sequoia, maybe both. They're just these giant trees that if you were to like stand next to, you would like look way up just to see like the top of it. And that's the idea for these trees, really big, a lot larger than your average tree. But they're not that big for this level, but that's the idea. And all of this is like all the structures that were made by the tribal people. So this, since it's been abandoned for so long, everything would be old to the point where some of the stuff even breaks. I will actually show that off right now, just to show you how it works. So this would be a bridge, looks fine. Then all of a sudden, oh no, I fell, it broke. So for these specific ones, the only difference between that and a regular one that won't break are these cracks that I made for it. So everything's supposed to have like this old look to it, like old and decayed. But these, the ones that break, would need to look even older and more decayed to show to the player that, hey, if you step on this, it's gonna break. It can't support anything, any type of weight anymore. And they will also be cracked as well, just to indicate like, you don't really want to step on this. And moving on, we enter the more forested area. Not nearly as many trees as I would have liked, but at the moment it gets the job done. This is also sort of a mountainy area as well. You see mountains off on the side. My poor attempt at mountains. Could be better, but for now it's fine. There's some more mountains, some more trees. Over here is the poison mist type of place. Like, you really don't want to go down there. It's as dangerous as it looks. You'll be inhaling a poison and slowly dying. And if you look closely, it is even hiding creatures down here. These are our zombies. And all information on the zombies have been uploaded to Trello to show off how we want them. I can't remember right now off the top of my head how we want them, but it's on Trello, so I won't really be going into it. And once again, big trees, the redwoods / sequoia trees, like this. Make them big. And once again, we're back to these. Here we also have traps that the previous inhabitants made. These are supposed to be, they look kind of metalish, but they would actually be made out of wood as well, because that's what they have access to, and they're more of a primitive type of tribe, not like in the village where it's all like modern stuff. Because once again, this is out in the middle of the forest. Think of like the tribes that currently live, I believe, in the Amazon. The ones that you leave alone. They do their own thing, we do our own thing. Like that. They even have their cemetery over here where they bury their people. Once again, dark and dreary. Dead trees. Similar to down there. Like, nothing is alive down there. Everything is dead because of poison. Similar story up here, except minus the poison. And these are just supposed to be like natural rock formations where they just built into it. And the ground's supposed to be more dirt with like holes in them, like just dirt mounds as well, because of the zombies that crawled out of their graves. There's supposed to be like a small mausoleum that they also created for their more higher classed citizens. sort of like a hierarchy type of thing that they had going on. Here's where they would set their dead, and it's made out of stone. It's smooth, but not too smooth. You see, there's cracks because they don't have access to the same machinery that we do now. So of course, there's gonna be like faults in their material or design. All that. So this is the mausoleum, and then here we have a dart wall that shoots darts. I will actually show that off now because we need to talk about that. So here you can see the darts. They're currently just cones that they shoot out. So these darts that they shoot are supposed to be similar to the, I believe they're called blow darts. It's like a big long hollow stick. You put a dart in there and you like blow on it and it shoots out. And when you picture those, it's typically like a sort of like a syringe, but not really. You know, it has a pointy part in the front, and then it has like a feather in the back, something like that. That is the idea for the type of darts that they're shooting. Moving on, we have a spike room in here. Now these, we also have information up on Trello, but just a brief review on it. These are supposed to be like wooden spikes. They're supposed to be made out of wood and like reinforced with metal. Once again, all the info is on Trello for those that are assigned to us. And these are moving spikes. I'll just show that off briefly. They actually move, come up and down, nothing too fancy, just up and down, different speeds and all. Moving on, just to the important bits. We're gonna skip all this. It just brings you back this way. Now, in here is when we go into the mountains and into the caves. These caves will be very dark because there's no lighting in the cave, unless there's natural lighting, which is difficult to come by. Unless there are holes in the wall similar to here, with the light coming in. But there's also supposed to be like dark. Well, we went over that. I believe the word's dank. Dank caves, like kind of wet moisture in the area, similar because there's like a waterfall there. So just water, kind of wet. And this is where our bears live. These are bears. We're calling them bears, but they're really just enlarged wolves. And I believe that is all. Oh, and these are destructible walls, meaning that you can use these bombs, which are skull bombs that we made. You can use them to break them. These need to look made out of stone, similar to this, but more distinguishable. And the way you can tell that you can break them is because of all these cracks that you see on it. That's what causes them to break. And that is the overall mood of Milano. And that is all. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
I'm Matthew Woolf. This level is the Forgotten Sepulchre. It starts off in a cypress swamp. Walls around the area and through the small cave are primarily limestone. There's probably some bits of sandstone and shale in this runoff cavern, frequented in those types of wet areas. Back to the main level area. You can see there are thorn vines, which prevent players from going certain areas. Give you the look and feel of the level. Little diversity in the plant life. And these areas aren't all just one type of tree. You climb up the face here. There is an area of better attuned stone for filtering out bad contaminants in water, leaving a clearer pool the player can jump into for a quick dip. They can either progress forward into the cemetery or they can go into the cave area. Here you can see more of the nasty swampy water, stalagmites dripping from the years of erosion that made this cave. Again, the player can progress forward past the broken swamp boat that could not get out due to the water level receding so much and years of neglect. Now I can go back through the opening portion where they will have to crouch under fallen trees. Hopefully I can find a better example of tree bark or actual dead trees to cover that path instead. There we have some rocks sticking through. The majority of the area is to look more like a landslide. The softer materials, decomposed wood, the stinky stuff you find in the forest if you go out there and play long enough, especially during the rainy seasons. Follow the creek bed to what at some point must have been a beautiful landscape with a creek going through the graveyard. Here we have crypts made out of stone similar to the ancient Roman concrete, more durable than modern concrete, doesn't erode as bad with weather, can withstand almost anything, especially if they had something similar to our rebar where it wouldn't break. The bridge crossing what was the decent creek, you can see all the erosion, weakening ground is causing the graves to start to slide out from where they were buried. Fight past all the zombies, through the rest of the graves, past the gargoyles, who will need better bodies, but I would like to retain that creepy glowing eye, which gives a dark feeling. When the level is complete, the sky will be darker, overcast, and raining. Bits of lightning here and there. Main mausoleum would either be something similar to polished granite or marble. Nothing too extravagant, but something to show superiority with whoever it was intended to be used for. Sepulchres are usually there to house the dead before they're moved to their final burying spot. On top of this one, we have a hidden sarcophagus for a truly honored member. But once the secret key, hidden way over there in that crypt, is placed on the pedestal, the door slides open into what would be the main room for the viewing purposes in the sepulchre. The two braziers will be lit, providing light to the room. Nice, dark, dreary. There's the feeling of the end. Down the stairs, which is usually a place only for the deceased or priests to go down. You see it's been desecrated. Human sacrifices. Either these braziers are going to be used as collecting pools for the blood of the sacrificed, or they will still be lit, slow roasting the sacrificed. The support pillars could either be very old wood, could show signs of decay or rot, or they could be so well treated that it's almost like they never rotted at all, like the dead were intended. Another giant sarcophagus. I have to figure out which is the proper way to deal with what it was carved from or constructed from. Obviously, it's strong enough to break through the metal bars once the dead climbed out of it. As we break through and slide out this final rock, you see it's loose, doesn't quite fit, something's going on here. We splash down what was an escape route before the water levels rose and flooded it. This would be a different type of rock completely. You have to go through the cave systems of the North American Midwest, Mammoth Caves maybe, or caves near the Kentucky, Tennessee area to get the proper rock formations and type of rock that are present in flooded caves. I know Kansas has some flooded mines that are kind of creepy, and a lot of them are shut off permanently. No one can swim in them due to the water becoming murky and killing anyone in there. On to the River Delta Mausoleum. Similarly to the other level, this is another dark, rainy sky, only being a river delta. Trees are sparsely scattered, no large cypress, just periodically here and there. There could be a cypress tree here. If you look towards where the cursor is, you see that there were some that were dead. Other trees are just filling up space wherever the seeds would be scattered and they could find root. See mimics of hills and waterways to show that this is a floodplain from a river delta. Following the light, we go to one of the smaller, not so extravagant caves of the river areas. They tend to be just about the size of one person. I've been in a few over the years. River runoff doesn't really build that fancy of caves, sadly, in this area. We follow a deeper area where the water cut through a little bit more aggressively. Players will be able to find secret weapons, which will be needed. Back through the course of the raging overflow river, which is currently at a dry season. You see the opening for the mausoleum. It starts off with a man-made material. They're supposed to be a little garish, showing off their own personal flair and style. This will be similar to the concrete in the other level. Maybe not so old, since this was meant to be protected and is a little more recent than the other one. And follow it down. This will be more of a carved granite mausoleum from beginning to end. There might be sandstone in the columns, or it could be marble. There's a lot of different stones that are found in river areas that this could be carved of. It all depends on where it's located and what type of stone was there. So you could fluctuate greatly for a room that's carved, one solid room, not built brick by brick. You can see with that, people who built it did not know how time was going to affect their structures. So over time, rooms started to collapse, fall inward. They weren't supported properly. This poor guy left his cheeseburger. McDonald's cheeseburger, by the way. Otherwise, it wouldn't have lasted through centuries. Booby traps from people trying to explore in the past that did not know there were booby traps. They left their ladder behind. Braziers here will be glowing, but they will not have flames. Either their eternal glow is signifying something dark, or there's something else going on, like the animals who somehow managed to get in here and get trapped. As we push forward, left a few things, little health pickups, angry animals. Someone fiddled with the door he shouldn't while the earth shifted, dropping some debris on him. He didn't make it. Crawl through the tighter space. See a cave made by water erosion running through the cracks of the softer stones. Probably took another couple hundred years. The black and green blocks are to signify that glowworms have taken residence in the smaller, darker cave. It also guides the player through, following the erosion and little hints of sticks and stuff running through. Find an artifact. Get back to the glowworm path. A larger pocket, which would have been present in the ground even if they didn't build a mausoleum. See stalactites on the ceiling, dripping down to their stalagmites on the ground. As the ceiling rises up and the room opens, it gives birth for the player to see I should be going that way, jumping along the cliff faces and following through to another glowworm cave. As the player passes through here, the ceiling will collapse, preventing the player from getting back. I'd have to make sure it's a rock that looks soft enough, possibly shale, which shatters pretty easy. Enter the large main burial chamber of the mausoleum. Important family. Obviously, they have 6 small vaults and one who must have been the head of the family at the top. Braziers here will also be glowing, although more significantly than in the previous room. These larger ones by the doors will probably have the dimmest glow to them, because no one is supposed to be going in or out. For each coffin, there is its own separate pedestal for the book that went to that member. The prayer book, spell book, who knows? After that block is moved, blocking the stairway, it opens up the exit door. The player can either jump over the top or climb up to what would have been an exit tunnel for the workers building the tomb. It was also sealed off, so it would look like just an old hut no one would interfere with, buried off in the middle of a swamp, where it should have been safe. This is the end of the level, and I hope you enjoy.
Hello, my name is Matthew Bell, and we're going to be talking about the pit. When you first start into the level, you'll be encountered by this boulder preventing you from going any further, because that's the beginning of the level. You're not supposed to get out. It's supposed to be like a cave. There's these little platforms. Possibly could be some sort of like stone or boulder of some sort. That can help the player get down. I planned on this area being dark and it be like have like stalagmites or stalactites throughout it. You'll be able to interact with this. Once you go through this, you'll be able to grab the grapple gun. We'll go ahead and do that real quick.
You've entered my realm. Take this and light your way.
Now you can also use this to see your hazards in the level. Pick up this health pack real quick. Plan on this area. It's a reason why it's called the pit is because anything below is supposed to be dangerous. So that one is filled like a bunch of gas and falling boulders. I also was looking for a lot of stalagmites or stalactites for this area. The zombies down here. There's supposed to be a rolling boulder right here. Just died. 1 second. Get back over there.
You've entered my realm. Take this and light your way.
Come in here. This is like the watery part of the area with some traps inside it. Once you get this, you'll be able to open up this door with the key and then move on to the next level of cyber vision.
You've entered my
This
realm
area.
once more. Take this and light your way.
This area, I was looking for more like cobblestone of some sort for the walls, like some sort of like tomb of some type of thing. And it's supposed to have several mazes. You can see there's footprints now to kind of like mislead the player. You can't see through certain walls for good reason because some of these walls have traps. Have drones in them, but one has two. There's another grapple gun right here. And then in this area, There are some swinging spikes and more footprints. And these were meant to be like some sort of poisonous pipes for the poison gas. Like, this area is supposed to have like broken piping system of some sort. And then over here, there'll be a surplus of weapons because in the next area we'll be fighting a boss. I planned on adding more mazes to this. There's a body of water and a nuke over there that's gone off or not completely destroyed. Same over here with the crater. Most of this area is supposed to be like dead and lacking grass and trees at the moment, as well as these areas for the houses. Over here, I plan the T-Rex to have some sort of spawner on it, so that way he can spawn more drones whenever there's not very many out. So that way he can reach you. He can still technically attack you from a distance. And then he does have a foot stomp effect, and he also needs to be able to bite the character. Right now, it just needs a cooldown for the stomping, so that way he can bite. Once you win, it takes you back to the main menu. This is Team Gentle Wraith, and we thank you for watching, and you have a good rest of your day. My direction with the T-Rex here is supposed to be him being cybernetic as well, and mutated. So most likely either one or two heads, or pieces of him are robotic as well. That's going to be the direction that I was looking for with this. And he can bite, and later I want to be able to give him expressions, but the only expression that I am looking for is just being able to animate his tail and tongue later on. That's all I need out of him with the cybernetic style, with mutations or zombified mutation, or all three of between zombified, mutated, and cybernetic. Any of those combinations would be fine, but prefer really strongly on the cybernetic part with this T-Rex. Alright, and for the player character, as you can see, it's pretty bland, but it is in the shape of a female character. What we are looking for is a cybernetic arm, in the very least. Possibly with like some sort of like computer that she might have on her arm, as well as the ability to have some things come out of the arm. And I'm going to go ahead and open up a reference here real quick. And for the character, for the reference for the character would be like a cybernetic arm like this, or something along the lines of this with the, and then also the boots as well would be nice. And then we also were looking for the hairstyle, something like this as well. And also maybe the cybernetic arm like this would be nice either too. This one also has another cybernetic arm as well. We were thinking of a mixture between all these types of characters, and the hairstyle would be something like this and this combined, or maybe even this, maybe a mixture of the three. And there's the boot reference, another boot reference as well right there. And for the hand, maybe later on we would need, like on the palm of her hand, maybe something that has like a little hole in their hand as well, or a PDA system right here as well, because we're gonna need another spot on it, on the character as well, to put on here for attachments for later on in game use. And one of those attachments would be a grapple gun. As you can see, this grapple gun is attached to the arm. We are wanting it to come out of the arm. So that's what we were looking into later on. This grapple gun would also have a magnet of some sort on it. There's another reference for the grapple as well. So that's what we're looking at, because right now we have some pretty bland character styles right now, but it is a female character. And that's it for the character reference on that